I was 22 years old when my best friend Caleb and I decided to take a spontaneous road trip from Utah to Colorado. We were chasing that summer adrenaline rush, the windows down, playlist loud, freedom in every direction. The plan was simple, no motels, just long drives, truck stops and camping along scenic routes. We left Salt Lake City just after noon and had been driving for nearly 10 hours when we crossed into rural Colorado. We were miles deep into a stretch of Route 40, flanked by dense trees and the kind of darkness that feels thicker than just nightfall. Our phones lost signal hours ago, and we haven't seen another car since dusk. Around midnight, the fuel light flicked on. We were almost running on fumes. After a tense 20 minutes of driving in near silence, a glowing blue gas station sign appeared on the side of the road like a beacon. The station itself looked old. 2 pumps, a flickering fluorescent light above the convenience store, and an old sedan parked out front with its hood popped open. We pulled up to pump number 2, and as I stepped out, I immediately noticed how quiet it was. No bugs, no crickets, not even the low hum of the neon sign. Just the crunch of gravel under my sneakers and the hiss of the pump. Inside the sedan, someone sat motionless in the driver's seat, staring straight ahead. I glanced at Caleb. He was already out of the car, stretching his legs, but clearly uneasy too. The store lights were on, but no one was at the counter. I pushed open the glass door and the old bell above jingled. The air smelled stale, like mildew and motor oil. The shelves were mostly bare, except for dust-coated cans and expired snacks. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. Behind the counter was an old rotary phone and a register that looked straight out of the 80s. A half-drunk cup of coffee sat beside it, still warm. That's when I noticed the security monitor. 4 grainy camera feeds. 3 were normal, showing the front, the pumps, and inside the store. The 4th was static. Then it flickered and showed footage of the woods behind the station. Someone was watching from between the trees, just standing there, still, facing the camera. I rushed outside and motioned for Caleb to come back to the car. He didn't ask any questions. He could see from my face. I dropped the pump handle, didn't even bother with a receipt, and climbed into the driver's seat. That's when we both looked towards the sedan again. There was no one in the driver's seat anymore. The hood was up, but the passenger side door was ajar. I floored it. The car's tyres kicked up gravel as we peeled out of the lot, and as we pulled onto the road, I glanced in the rear view mirror. The man was standing in the middle of the road behind us, but he hadn't been there a second ago. We drove for an hour straight without saying a word. The gas tank somehow lasted longer than expected. Eventually, we reached a truck stop with actual people and lights and noise. We parked under the brightest floodlight we could find. Caleb went inside to use the bathroom. When he came out, he was pale. "There's no gas station like that listed on the maps," he whispered. "Not on GPS, not on Google, nothing. Nothing shows up for that stretch." I opened my phone again, still no signal, but there was one new thing I hadn't seen before. A blurry photo in my camera roll, taken from the front of our car, showing us at the pump, from outside the vehicle. We never went back through that part of Colorado again. To this day, neither of us have any memory of taking that photo. We never saw the man's face. We don't know if it was a person or something pretending to be one. I still keep my gas tank full whenever I take long trips, and I never stop at stations without other cars around, especially after midnight. In April 2022, I took a solo trip from Montana to Washington to clear my head after a rough breakup. I planned to stop at national parks and just drive through scenic routes, sleep in my car, and take my time getting there. One night, after watching the sunset from a trail off State Route 20, I started driving towards the nearest rest stop. The road was beautiful but winding, and almost immediately my low tire pressure light came on. I pulled over at a wide shoulder area to check the tires. That's when I saw it. A man laying face down in the ditch, partially obscured by bush. At first, I panicked. I thought he'd been hit, but when I called out, he didn't move. So I grabbed my flashlight and I stepped closer. Still, no response. Then as I got within 10 feet, he just stood up. No stumbling, no slow rise. He just stood up perfectly upright in one smooth motion and then turned around. His face was pale, his eyes wide, unblinking. His clothes looked old, like 1970s old, and his lips didn't move. But I heard his voice. "You're not supposed to be here." I bolted for the car. The man didn't run after me, but I heard footsteps behind me the entire way. I jumped into the driver's seat. I locked the doors and peeled off. About 2 miles down the road, I saw another car approaching. I flashed my brights, hoping they'll stop or help. But as they passed, I realized the driver was the same man from the ditch, only he was alone in the car, just staring at me, mouth open, like screaming, but no sound. I drove for another 15 miles, sweating and shaking, and I pulled into a lit gas station to calm down. I walked inside and I told the attendant everything. She looked confused. "That road's been closed for over a year. Landslide wiped out a big section." I showed her the route I'd taken. She looked at it, then at me. "There's no way you got through that stretch." We walked outside. My car had mud and pine needles jammed into the grille, and the passenger door had a handprint on it, pressed in mud. I didn't sleep that night. I drove straight through Spokane and stayed in a hotel with people and lights and a lobby that never closed. I kept telling myself it was stress or some weird trauma response. I tried to believe that, but then I noticed my GPS history had logged Ditch Road as a saved location, a road that didn't exist. I've never gone back to Montana. I sold that car 6 months later after the GPS refused to delete the location, because every time I tried, it reappeared. I've taken dozens of road trips since, but I never stop when I'm alone and the road is empty, because I know what I saw, and I know what saw me. In the summer of 2017, my cousin Amelia and I were driving from Dallas to Albuquerque to visit her sister. We decided to take the scenic route through New Mexico instead of sticking to the highways. Around 9:30 p.m, we stopped for fast food in a small town called Vaughan, then got back on the road. The sun had already dipped behind the mountains and the road was almost pitch black. We were following GPS instructions when we took exit 229, a small, unmarked ramp that curved sharply into the woods. Amelia said it looked shorter and our ETA dropped by 15 minutes, so I followed it, and that was the last normal decision we made that night. The road narrowed into a single lane almost immediately. Potholes, overgrown trees leaning in from both sides, no signs, no lights. We passed a rusted road sign, but the paint was worn off completely. The GPS recalculated and then glitched, displaying unknown road. That's when I noticed that our car's Bluetooth cut out. The music stopped, my phone screen dimmed on its own, and Amelia's phone died, even though it was charging. Still, we kept driving. The forest swallowed the road completely. It felt like we hadn't passed an intersection or anything in nearly 30 minutes. I slowed the car when we saw something up ahead. A deer? No, it was standing upright, but its proportions were off. The legs too long, arms too thin. Its head tilted slowly as we approached. Amelia gasped. I swerved around it. As we passed, she screamed. It was wearing a tattered hoodie. I floored it, but now the road behind us was gone. Just trees. No tire tracks, no path, nothing. I don't remember how long we were driving after that, but every few minutes we would see something just behind the tree line, matching our speed, ducking behind trunks as soon as we looked. The road ended suddenly at a rusted gate. No sign, no markings, no way to turn around without reversing. As I shifted into reverse, the rear view camera blinked on. A figure was standing directly behind our car. Another appeared in front, emerging from the trees. They weren't human. Not entirely. Not anymore. Amelia locked the doors. I screamed and slammed the gas. We hit something. I don't remember much after that. Just lights, a sound like static, and a thud. We woke up in a parking lot at a rest area, our car parked neatly between two trucks. It was 3:12 a.m. Neither of us remembered how we actually got here. There was no damage to the car, no dents, no blood, not even dirt on the tyres. We asked the attendant inside if they saw a road marked exit 229. He blinked. There's no exit 229 on that stretch. To this day, Amelia refuses to drive at night, and as for me, I keep that GPS screenshot of unknown road saved in a folder on my desktop. Every few months, I try looking it up again, but there's nothing. It's like it never existed. Except sometimes, just sometimes, it shows back up.